I've built like many clinics through doctor marketing, and I never go for the kill. Like I never go for the kill to ask for the referral, like without knowing them. Like my main goal in the very beginning of doctor marketing is like, how do I get them to like me? How do I find something in common with them, right? How do I get them to actually like me as a human being and trust me? And then once we reach a certain level, I will start like going for the ask, right? But without doing that, it's going to be like, without doing that, you're doing what 99% people are doing, right? You know, if that makes sense in the chat, type in the chat, like, type in yes if that makes sense. You got to develop the relationship first before you go in for the ask, you know, because if you go for the ask too quickly, you are not gonna like, you've lost that. You're just like 99% of everybody else, right?
The question you have to answer for the doctor, and by the way, this is the same thing for a patient, a prospect, anybody else. What's in it for me and why do I care? That's what they're always asking. So if you're reaching out to the doctor, they are thinking, so to meet with you, to connect with you, to do this interview spotlight thing, well, what's in it for me and why should I care? What's in it for you? You're going to spread the word about who you are and your expertise, and you're going to get more notoriety. And if that's interesting to you, unless you have a line out the door and you don't care, then that's the benefit, because I'm going to share it with my audience, and we have several thousand people, so it could be a great way. See, if you come from that perspective of what's in it for them and not what's in it for you, we all know what's in it for us. We all know relationships lead to referrals. But if you don't get into that rapport initially, it's not going to work. And I think too many times that's what we do.
Let's do this exercise. Type in the chat, what do you think right now is the biggest pain point of a doctor, right? You know?
Oh, I love that.
Type in the chat, you know, like what is the pain point of a doctor right now, right?
Oh,
like,
I love that one. Even though I don't have my glasses, I can read that one.
Yeah,
It's
that one says
time.
time.
Yes.
Time. I don't have time. Yeah, like low billing rates, you know, like, you know, they're not getting paid enough, right? You know, from the government or Medicare in US Medicare and Ontario OHIP, you know, what else? What else is a pain point for docs, right?
Rick, can I jump in here with the time one? Because one thing we are experts of is time, right? That was the one thing I learned more than anything else. So think about this. The doctors don't have time. They are being grabbed in every which way. I mean, if you own a business that has staff, you can understand how many questions you get from your staff, but included in that is every drug rep and every other person that's vying for their time. And here's the physio and the chiro and the massage therapist going to the doc and saying, hey, can I have your time too? What's in it for me? Why should I care? Oh, I just want you to send me patients. There's really nothing in it for you. I'll do a good job though. Like, why would you meet with you? And that's what hit me when I started going through this process. As every time I approached anyone else, I always looked at it from my perspective of what's in it for me. And when I started changing my perspective and started to appreciate where they are and started to talk to the doctor and say, Doc, how are things going with you? What's the number one thing you're focusing on? Not that I'm there to solve it. I'm just there to listen. But it started creating a rapport, and they immediately looked at me as not someone trying to suck off the teat and just get something from them. I was there to really try to see how I can be a resource. And that led to a relationship of referrals. Are you happy with the services we're providing? What's that question about? It's about you,
okay.
Right? You're still focusing on you. I would just tweak the question, and I would say something like, what typically is, serves you the best? Like what typically that physical therapists that you work with or physios that you work with that you like to work with the most, and why? So you make it more open of, instead of saying what service, are you happy with the services? What type of services do you typically need? Or what type of services does your patients typically need? What type of services you typically refer out to specialists for? So you're keeping it more open-ended and not going to you. Yeah. Another one is there any feedback from your patients you feel I should know? What typical feedback do you get from your patients that drives you crazy?
Oh, I like that one. That's a good one. What typical feedback do you get when your patients,
What
sorry,
typical
come on.
feedback do you get when you
Yeah.
refer to a specialist? Remember, we're specialists. What typical feedback do you get when you refer to a specialist that absolutely drives you crazy?
Oh, that is
Now they're
gold.
going to start sharing, well, you know what drives me crazy? When I refer to someone, they can't see him for 3 weeks, and then they come back to me. What drives me crazy is they go to therapy or they go to somebody and the person doesn't really know how many times they should be coming in or what specifically they're doing. I hate it when I send them to somebody and they don't follow my script. What they're giving you is gold. They're giving you how to better communicate and fix your process of how you're going to work with that doctor. And chances are it might be a process that other doctors. So again, this focuses on them. And then you can say, what is the single most biggest challenge you have when you can't help one of your patients? What's the single problem you have? Or what's the absolute train wreck that you get that you don't want to see?
Oh,
That
hey,
was
who's
one of
loving
my.
this? Type in gold if you're loving what like these the opening questions that James gave you. Type in gold if you love it, because honestly, like I love these questions. This question gives you the gold that you need. Type in gold, okay?
Yeah.
All right,
And
Jamie.
you know what? It takes it away from, and we can go all into communication. We can talk about communication and how you communication and how you show up. But what you're asking are open-ended questions for the doc that don't have to do with you. You're just listening. Open-ended questions for the doc. And by the way, you can use these for any referral source. And chances are you already use this when you're working with patients. We're just going to tweak it a little bit and make it more with the doc. And you can use this, by the way, you can use this for the front desk.
Oh yeah. Hey Jamie, what was the last one with the train wreck one? What is the absolute what train wreck? I really like that one.
What's the patient that what typical patients do you see that in your opinion are just absolute train wrecks and you just wish you could just send them somewhere and just have someone take care of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can make it more specific. So when they say, well, no, I wouldn't say train wreck, but I mean, they're chronic pain people that come back again and again, and we're not a chronic pain place. And I'm like, really? So what would help you the most? Would it help you if someone was able to take that person off your plate, take care of them, and provide some level of care and help them? That'd be great. Well, I'd be happy to do it. Is there someone you can think of right now? Well, yeah. Who would that be? Well, Mrs. Smith. I'd be happy to take care of them. What's the best way to move forward? Yeah. So now all of a sudden, you're helping someone and you're helping the doctor. Of course you're getting paid. Of course you're getting a person, but you're doing it that this is helping the doctor because that opens up a space for someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, they're always going to send you kind of the more difficult people to test you out and then send you more of the people of the target audience that you want.